Hello YouTube, Ready Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video it's going to be a little bit of a different one. I'm going to be talking about upper respiratory infections in tortoises, and specifically upper respiratory infections in sulcata tortoises, or species that are from a grassland area such as the sulcata that require a drier climate that can handle humidity here, like for example in the state of Florida, but just once in a while we have to be looking out for these things. The clips you're going to see of me giving intramuscular injections to this tortoise is going to be stuff that I've uploaded on Instagram, so I want you guys to keep that in mind when you're seeing this. But I thought I'd make a little bit of a YouTube video, add some clips of me speaking about it, and just kind of go off of off the topic and just talk about things like that. So I'm gonna start with that. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get started. Alright guys, so just for you guys to understand, right here is my newest addition. It is a male sulcata tortoise. This is Quattro. You guys saw him in that video when I introduced you guys to them when I was picking them up. If you notice here on his right nostril, you can see a little bit of bubbling. At this point, it is a lot less prevalent than when it was when I first got him, and I was aware of this when I purchased him, and so was the ex-owner, who obviously told me about this, and he told me not to have too much caution because it was, one, in the early stages, and two, he thought it would dry out by itself. Now that being said, I did not want to wait to let it dry out, just because, one, I want to prevent any spread of disease from this tortoises to obviously other tortoises that are in the same enclosure as Quattro here. Even though they did come from the same area, I obviously want to just take care of that and be sure of it. So if you guys notice there, he had a little bit of bubbling, and you can kind of hear his breathing, and it was a little bit more of a heavy breathing. If I'm being honest, it actually has gone down tremendously since I first gave him the first injection, which was 3 days ago at the point of this clip. Right now I just gave him a second injection, and you guys will see this towards the end of the video. But for those that don't understand what a respiratory infection is, we're calling it upper respiratory because it is hitting and attacking the upper part of his respiratory system, and that just means some signs are mucus, bubbling, as you can see, heavy breathing, dehydration, a little bit of underswelling in the eyes. So as you guys can see, he's very active, he's breathing, he's eating, he's doing great. So that's why I'm not worried. But if I didn't catch this and I don't medicate him, it could obviously get a lot more severe, and we could potentially lose the tortoise, and then we can start more spread of the same infection to all the other sulcatas, which we don't want to. So on the next clip, I'm going to talk a little bit of what you can do to prevent this and how we should treat it. Alright, so how do tortoises and sometimes turtles catch these respiratory infections? And the number one thing would be is an area is, one, really cold for these animals, or two, it's been really wet and cold at the same time. You guys have seen, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I struggle with sometimes the other enclosures flooding, and that's why I'm on the case right away. And being that these animals come from such a drier area, we want to obviously be cautious about how we are going about keeping these guys. So we don't want to make them in an area that is too wet, and obviously when it gets wet and cold, that's where you really want to obviously avoid that. So a tortoise like that, that's one reason they can get it. Another reason, it just happens. It's just part of reptile keeping or keeping animals in general. Animals do get sick, and we must be on top of it and attentive to them, and just kind of obviously be on call whenever we see symptoms like that. A good way to avoid this is obviously keeping an elevated dry enclosure. You can see this enclosure is very dry at the moment. The sun is out, and that is another reason and a thing that you can kind of gauge and use as an element to basically dry up this respiratory infection. If you catch in the early stages and you do not want to go get medical attention, which I understand can be expensive at times, we must understand that if you see a tortoise like this, it is best to obviously make sure that the area is a lot dry and warmer. If you have to move the tortoise and put him in a tub, where you obviously, if you don't live in an area like Florida where it's a lot warmer throughout the year, you want to dry out this infection. So lots of heat. Obviously we don't want to burn the animal, but you want to provide lots of heat so that they can kind of dry up that infection. So that's another way that you can do it without giving medicine. In the next clips that you'll see later on in this video, I am providing an intramuscular injection, and what that means is that I'm basically injecting the medicine and the needle into the muscles, and you guys will see that clip as I explain it when I'm making those little clips, and you'll see it later on in the video. So an intramuscular injection, like I explained a little bit previously, I want to touch a little bit more on that topic. So what it means to be intramuscular is that the injection and the medicine that we are applying to the tortoise here, an example would be him, but any tortoise that you get, you're trying to inject the needle within an area that is, one, not bony because you can break the actual needle tip, and two, the obviously the medicine will not flow through the bone, It has to be done in a muscle where obviously there is blood flow and all those things. So what you do is you poke it into the area where there's muscle. A lot of places that we like to inject, as you guys will see later on, is between the legs, on the fleshy part at the base of the tail. This specific injection was not said to be rotated, so I don't have to change a place of where I'm injecting, but I still do it regardless, just on personal experience. It's better to rotate the actual injection just because it provides a different area where the medicine will enter in through the bloodstream, and like that you have different circulation points, and obviously all of that takes into factor when you want to heal the tortoise. This guy here, like I said, when I first got him, I've always saw a mucus drip, a clear mucus drip, and that is a clear sign of a respiratory infection. Like I said previously, it wasn't that bad, so I wasn't too worried about getting medication, but I was able to get my hands on some of these medicine that I will not disclose the name of, because you need to go to your veterinarian and go get professional help when being prescribed these things, because I am not here to recommend any sort of name for these medicines. So the medicine that I have is working really great. From the first injection to the second one, which was given today at the time of this clip, he's improved vastly. His breathing is a lot less heavy. You guys saw in that little clip, you can see a little bit of bubbling and a little bit of kind of nostril flares, but that is just because he's kind of a little stressed out because I just finished making these clips. So that's just a little bit about the injection. It's given every 72 hours, so every 3 days, and we got to keep that up to date. I have 5 injections. I already given 2, so I think I'm gonna provide all 3 regardless, just so that I can really make sure that this animal is gonna be okay. And as you can see, he's super active. Everybody else that's in the enclosure was one with him previously, so I didn't want to be too worried. I don't have to isolate him, which in other cases I probably would, but I just think it was just super cool that I can come on here and make this little video, because I don't really see a lot of people injecting tortoises on YouTube. And I just want to give a little bit of insight, because I'm still learning the process of how to do this as well, and I learned it, and I think everybody can as well. So we're going to talk just a little bit more about what's going on, show you guys where I would put the injection, the procedure, and then you guys see all those clips. So before we get to those clips of obviously me injecting the tortoise, you can see this area, all these like pit pockets between the legs, his rear legs and his front legs. This is very fleshy. You can see it to the touch. It's very soft versus something like this where his actual scutes are made of bone. So if I were to inject somewhere here or somewhere under here, the needle will not pass through. 1, it'll break. 2, the medicine will not flow whatsoever. It won't get into the bloodstream. So we have to hit points like this where I can touch, and you can see he's a little bit jittery right now, but it'll be nice and soft even like under her as well. Stuff like that, points like this at the base of the tail, we can kind of see like right about here. It's very soft to the touch. That's where I would inject it, and obviously it'll go in there. We press the needle down, we do the full syringe, and obviously the medicine will enter the blood flow, and it's going to slowly heal the tortoise. Another thing to understand is we must sterilize the area with rubbing alcohol before. So wherever you choose to inject, you want to clean it very nicely, thoroughly, wipe it down with a paper towel. That's just to prevent and kill any little bit of bacteria that is at the surface level, because obviously we're not dealing with an open wound here, so we don't have to worry about clinical measures, but that's just something to touch on and kind of understand. Yeah, so I hope you guys are kind of learning something new about this. Like I said previously, I'm still learning the process. I'm just taking you through my journey. So if you guys want to get more updates and follow his, obviously his progress, and obviously he's going to be okay, you might want to check out my Instagram at Ready Reptiles, where I will be posting these clips individually. I explain different things there. And like I said, obviously I am not disclosing the name of this medicine, because it is not up to me. It is up to a vet, a professional help that you want to obviously contact if your tortoise is sick. I can only give you experience, and I obviously recommend going to veterinarians when you have cases like this where it may be more severe, or maybe in the earlier stages. Right now we are in the early stages of catching this respiratory infection for his respiratory system, so it'll be okay. So hope you guys enjoy those clips. Alright guys, so we are here with my male Cuatro, and we're going to be giving his second intermuscular shot for that slight respiratory infection that we saw earlier. So we're going to alright, so what we're going to do is, like I've explained previously in my last video, it's okay for him to be flipped like this for just a little bit. What I have to do first is clean the area that I'm going to be putting the injection in. It's just a precautionary measure to make sure there's no bacteria, or when I do inject the actual needle, we don't get any infection. This is a very slight respiratory infection that I'm treating for, and I actually see him improving greatly. His breathing is a lot better, and he has no mucus. So we're gonna see me injecting the next one. So what we're going to do is we're going to poke the little area real quick, and once it's in, I'm just going to shoot the entire injection. I am not disclosing the name of the medicine because I do not want anybody to go out there and obviously, you know, find anything that they, you know, prescribe for themselves. This is obviously given by a vet, so if you do have any issues with your tortoise, make sure you talk to a professional and any health concerns that you have. Like I said previously, this guy is already improving greatly, and he's doing a lot better than when we started, so he's getting even more active and everything's doing good. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching. What's up, Instagram? So as you can see right here, this is my male sulcata tortoise Cuatro, and as you guys can see right now, what I'm going to be giving is an intramuscular injection because I want to treat him for a slight respiratory infection that I've seen. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to find a meaty fleshy part. We don't want to put a part where there's obviously bone because the needle will not, you know, penetrate the animal skin. This kind of injection right here, it's a very small dosage. The needle is not going to hurt him whatsoever. So if we're going to come in, the camera will focus right here. I'm going to pick a nice fleshy spot, which is right there. I'm going to slowly pierce the skin where I want it to. Now that the needle's inside, I will just slowly inject the medicine. And what we'll be doing here is every 3 days we will you know, just give this medicine until we see the symptoms kind of slow down. I'm not too worried whatsoever about this, what is going on with him. It's just a very slight bubbling that I've seen, and I want to avoid any problems for the future. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, rate, comment, likes, and see my fellow herpers for more daily content and videos like this. Check me out here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Ready Reptiles and TikTok, where I post daily a bunch of videos also at Ready Reptiles. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for the support. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things. Thanks for watching.